Marvin, congratulations on a very dominant victory. I know you haven't had a chance to go back and review it and watch it, but I got to ask, like immediately after, you looked like you were a little bit frustrated, even though it was such a dominant victory. So, What are your initial thoughts on the fight?
I'm like this, like I expect perfection. I expect me going out and breaking the guy, and sometimes I feel a little like I fall a little bit short of my expectation, but that short is still like a great performance, like a very dominant performance. And yeah, I mean, going in, the game plan was, we knew like he's really wild, and he either really like away or he either jumps in, and that gets him to smother himself a lot and close the distance and end up in the clinch. And I was like, man, like, if it does do that, then there's not much of a point for me to get off the clinch and risk like short elbows, and because he throws those kind of things when I have such an advantage in the wrestling. So that would happen really. I was going out, I was feeling comfortable staying in there, and then he just throwing himself in, and it's just there. And that kind of like, it's like this. If you want to smother yourself and you throw yourself at me, I'm gonna wrestle because I have good wrestling, And I mean, at the end of the day, I'm here to win, and I'm here to, I'm the most versatile fighter. I can do everything. So you give it to me, I'll take it.
Yeah. Obviously there were a lot of questions surrounding him after his last performance, but I mean, he was all business in there. I did hear him talking to you a little bit in there, but I mean, he was serious, he was aggressive, he was throwing. I mean, was he what you expected, or did he surprise you?
Yeah, no, I knew he was. You know what? Like I was a little bit. I did not expect him to be that solid. I thought he would have faded out, and I knew I had him kind of hurt between second and third. He was staying on the stool a little bit, like even at the doctor, he kind of said, like the doctor kept asking me, "Can you see me?" I was like, "Yeah, I can see you," but he wasn't too sure of it. But then he kept going, and he kind of regathered himself. He definitely had more sense of urgency. He learned that from his last fight. He wasn't fucking around that much, and I think going into the Brunson fight, he kind of thought, "Oh, I'm gonna gas him out by just, he's gonna gas out, and then I'm gonna take my turn." This time he realized, if I don't have sense of urgency, these guys are just gonna go 5 rounds taking me down. So I think going into this fight, he felt more urgency when he was getting taken down, and he was more active. But man, I'm a beast in the ground too, and I mean, on my corner there's a Hall of Famer jiu-jitsu practitioner. I have to show up and do great just because he's in my corner almost. Thank you, Hamula, for being here, and in general, all the coaches here. So yeah, I kind of feel like I could have, I wanted to show more of my striking, but at the end of the day, there's the thing about me. I'm versatile and I can do it all. So. You give it to me, I'll take it.
Yeah. I know you're such a perfectionist and you're hard on yourself, but do you take more satisfaction that was a guy that showed up serious, clearly, you know what I mean? Like you said, there was no playing around in there, and you dominated him. Does that make you feel a little more satisfaction?
Yeah, I want to go back and watch the fights. I want to see how he played out and why things went some kind of way more than others. But yeah, man, I mean... For sure. I mean, he was game today. He was more game. He wasn't fucking around. There wasn't much talking. I knew everybody. I said it before. Like, oh, are you worried about him talking? I said there won't be much talking in our fight. And he just started talking on the 5th, and that's when I realized he's talking because he knows he's losing. And so, whenever somebody approaches the fight some kind of way, and then there is a switch in him, something's wrong for the guy. You realize something's going wrong for the guy. So. Yeah, he was way more game than his last fight, and it's good. At the end of the day, 50-44, it's as dominant as he can be.
Yeah. Last thing for me, what's going to be the talk is who deserves, the title shot next and all that. I mean, there's a big middleweight fight next week. Costa's out there still wanting a rematch. I'm sure Till will say something when he's healthy. But I guess while you've got the chance, make the case. Why is it you that deserves to be the next in line for the title?
5-win streak. Accepting anybody at any time, always showing up, always making weight, never complaining about nothing, and I just show up and I just beat these guys very dominantly. Like I leave no doubt. The last fight that I had with Adesanya was the closest fight that he's ever had, and on my eyes, he still won it. And that fight has to be made again. I don't think Robert Whittaker is that hungry. And next week, like I said, I want Dana to give me a ticket and for me to sit next to him to watch the fight. And that fight will say a lot. But regardless, I think I'm next in line and I deserve it. I was supposed to fight Darren Till, but Darren Till didn't show up. Now he's out. I'm the most hungry by any mean, and I'm next, man. I'm next. Nobody has the winning streak that I have. All my opponents have been solid, and I'm next.
Marvin, when would you like to fight Israel?
October.
Is there any preference?
Or September, this fall, Yeah.
Is that with the world opening up and with crowds and stuff like that, is there any place in particular you'd like to fight him? Or
Man, Italy, bro. If that could ever happen in Italy, that'd be a dream come true. Absolutely insane. The first ever Italian to bring the UFC to Italy, fighting for the title. That's out of. It's insane if that could come to fruition.
With Kevin tonight, obviously your grappling ability was markedly better than his, but were you surprised that on the commentary they were saying he was missing some of the basics? He wasn't trying to separate the hands and stuff like that. Were you surprised, or was that your own strength?
No, because I knew he's not he thinks strikes more than technique in there. He thinks to just create openings to strike, to cut you, to get you clean with shots. He doesn't. He had way more sense of urgency, but, if you don't know things, you cannot just learn it overnight. His game is not really, scrambling to get back up, not too much. He's just, he stays there looking for big shots. He tried to flat you out, so maybe you posture up and then boom, he catch you with some big, So now I was kind of expecting that. Like I said, he came more game than what I thought, but I'm game all the fucking time, so no problem.
Do you think because he fights so frequently, do you think it would actually be better for him to stop and take some time and try and learn before just taking fights?
I don't know, bro. He needs to know that. But yeah, 2 losses, he has to address that and make some adjustments if I was him. But he's a wild guy, so I don't know.
Last thing for me, you said you want to sit next to Dana to watch the fight next again. What exactly are you hoping to see, or are you trying to do with sitting next to Dana?
That fight, I want to tell him I'm next in line first, and that's a very important fight in the middle of a division. And so, I want to say, Dana, look, I'm here. I'm next, and obviously it's going to be good. And plus, Kelvin is my teammate. I want to see that too.
Congrats, man.